Here we are again, the Jim and Terry Show, the Jim Less Terry Show. This is me, solo, power failure, cost us the show this week. One of those inconvenient truths, we are vulnerable. In this case, vulnerable to a thunderstorm. Who would have thought? But it was a widespread, quite loud, quite damaging in places. Thousands. I think in Ontario, southern Ontario, over 200,000 households were without power in that thunderstorm. Well, we were one of them. And fortunately, we were one of them over a year ago with a spring ice storm that took down our area's grid for nearly a week. Well, we bought a little generator to deal with that one, and I've used it no less than 4 times in a year when we've been without power for over 24 hours at a time. So when we're thinking of refrigerators and deep freezers, let alone television, a fan, a heater, internet, all the things that go down, you're amazed. I'm amazed at how we survive in a power failure. It has got me thinking, maybe there is something needed, a remedy. Our little Canadian Tire Champion generator, I think, has the ability to plug into the household fuse panel with some modifications beyond my skill set. Don't worry, I'm not going to fry myself. But I'm thinking that that's a next step. So instead of dangling extension cords through the patio door and into the kitchen because you have to keep this gas-powered thing humming away from your house so you don't get fumes, and there have been some stories of people succumbing to carbon monoxide poisoning as a result of having generators in their garages with the doors closed, somewhere near their basement window, and falling victim of fumes. So safety first, but I'm thinking I need a bigger long-term solution since the grid really does seem fragile. You know what else seems fragile? America. Jim and Terry, Save America, one podcast, one conversation, one coffee at a time. And where am I going with this one? Well, let me start by looking at the stuff that's emerging from Jack Smith. If you don't remember Jack Smith, he was a special counsel appointed under the Biden administration to get at the roots of Mar-a-Lago and the document scandal. There's a lot of stuff. He resigned before the end. Trump won the election. He knew there was no point in staying on and resigned. But Trump's gone after him. Trump's gone after Comey. Trump's gone after Letitia James. Trump's gone after everybody in his Vengeance is Mine, saith the Dawn tour, which is his second administration. He wants to get everybody, but it's amazing to hear Jack Smith speak out candidly as a former special prosecutor, not just a former DOJ type, not just a career lawyer. He spent years in The Hague chasing down war criminals from the old Croatian war crimes. In the Clinton years, do you remember the Slobodan Milosevic, I think is his actual name. Well, Jack Smith has been part of working on international criminal stuff. The stuff that, what's that I smell? It is the smell of scandal. It is the smell of corruption. It is a smell that we had hoped in my younger theological days, I would have said it was the stench of injustice rising to the nostrils of God, which will lead to divine intervention and judgment, saith the Lord. Well, I'm not as confident in that process anymore, but I am confident in legal systems and institutions, except when they're bought and sold and traded and corrupt, and individuals sell their souls to the company man. Company man in this case would be Trump. The mobster. I wrote blogs about this on my blog page on my Wix site. I've been saying this for years, since 2015. Beware the mobster. Beware the charlatan. Beware the wolf in sheep's clothing. And that's all there. Well, to take it to this last day or so of breaking news, Breaking. Jack Smith just told America the quiet part out loud. Buckle the F up, America. It's about to get real. And what is the tenor of that? Is that Jack Smith has been on MSNBC giving some interviews. I'm not sure where else he has gone. But this is really something. For the former special counsel, I'm just going to read from the excerpt from the article that I've got here. The former special counsel, career prosecutor who indicted Donald Trump for trying to overthrow an election and stuffing nuclear secrets into pooled toilets in Mar-a-Lago, broke his silence in his first televised interview, and what he delivered wasn't a victory lap. It wasn't a book tour. Oh, you've heard of how many former Trump advisors in Inner Circle didn't say what they knew at the time, but went on to publish books saying, well, we knew it then. Well, for God's sake, if you knew it then, why didn't you do something instead of just, surviving and then writing a book to make money off of it? Follow the money. If people are making, and this is true in spirituality as well, if somebody's grifting and making money off of vitamin supplements or naturopathic remedies, if someone's grifting and making money off of book tours or speaking tours or cult-like memberships, follow the money, for gosh sakes. Motive is money in most of these things. What Jack Smith delivered was a warning to America, a warning to the world, because if America doesn't right its ship now, it will be capsized. I think that's the word, capsized. The boat's going down, and America's going down with the ship. If you want to see the impact of tariffs, go to House of L and look at the impact of tariffs. The trade deficit that Trump wanted to deal with, that was his, on the surface level, rationale for imposing what everybody knew was insanity of global tariffs. Well, the trade deficit has just erupted 95%, I think, growth in the last year. I'm saying year, but the article, if I'm remembering it correctly, may be even the past quarter. So things are not what they say. And when you follow with your eyes and hear with your ears, and I go back to the trucker convoy and what we saw and what we heard, some people said, it's a party. And I'm saying they're going to drive the trucks up to the parliament steps. And I waited for that to happen. Of course, it never did. And perhaps it was a party for some, but you took over the city of Ottawa without permission. So when you see with your eyes and hear with your ears, and it doesn't add up to the messaging, and in the trucker convoy, the Tamara Leach messaging was always way out there. In crazy land with the Queen of Canada, who still lives in a trailer park on some farmer's field in Manitoba, I hear, but that's the craziness that persists. We saw it all, we heard it all, we assessed it all, and 75% of Canadians understood it to be what it was, and there are some who still say, but, it was okay, it was a good, feel-good movement. Just like January 6th was a picnic, say some Republicans, most Republicans. It's amazing to me. Well, get back to reality. Here is Jack Smith. Are you intimidated by Trump? Answer, no, not at all. I'm not going to be intimidated. I think the interview was with MSNBC, so I'm guessing it was, and I can't think of her name, Wallace, I think is her last name. She did the interview. No, not at all. I'm not going to be intimidated. If the thought was to go after me so that I wouldn't speak up about the corruption that's happening, or to speak up and defend other agents and prosecutors who have dared to speak against this administration, that is a grave miscalculation. Well, that's what I'm hoping is true, that others will be like Jack Smith, who doesn't seem intimidated at all. Now, remember that Jack Smith is the guy the President of the United States has publicly in his Truth Social ranting and ravings and in his public statements and interviews that he's given, all available on public record, he's asked that Jack Smith be jailed. Jailed for what? For doing his job. What was his job? To investigate. Not to determine guilt, but to determine if there is enough evidence to go ahead and prosecute. This was while Trump was citizen Trump, not presidential candidate. The desperation for Trump to win 2024 was apparent. Just how desperate was he? And did people like Elon Musk, through Citizens United, which gives unlimited funds to conservative billionaires who want to make sure that Trump gets reelected, did they tip the scales? How else do I explain all 9 swing states going for Trump? Well, you could say it just happened, which is possible, and if that's so, so be it. I tend to want to turn over the rocks and look under every stone. There's something going on in America, and Jack Smith is telling you, wake the F up, America, before Trump screws you all. Jim and Terry Show. A little aggravated this morning. Without power, maybe that's the reason. But I got a coffee. Maybe. Bye-bye for now.
It's complicated, this relationship I have with my morning coffee. It's from the way that I